Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the JY podcast. Today, we're going to be doing a final review on Flash Season 7. We've done a few videos on this season before, but we're going to kind of wrap up our thoughts as the season finale was a few days ago. And yeah, so usually we kind of like to start things positive, but there is nothing positive we have to say. This entire season was a mess, and we're going to go over why right now.
Yeah, this is so bad. This is I think this is the worst season the Flash has ever had. It's at its lowest point right now. The viewership shown too is at its lowest because this guy can't write for anything. This first arc with the whole mirror stuff, that was pointless and rushed. Nobody cared about Eve. She was like one of the worst villains the show ever had. They rushed it in 3 episodes when they could have just carried it over. Then we move over to this Forces arc, which is arguably just as bad. They just had these stupid pep talks, which was the main thing in the first half. Thank God didn't carry over to second. And all these villains were terrible, cliche, and in the end they all get redeemed like they're good. Like it was so bad. It just feels like a kids show now. It doesn't even feel like it had the darker tone like the first and second or third season.
Yeah, we made a full video on the first like half of the season, and to kind of summarize what we said, it just felt like filler. It was like several hours worth of absolutely nothing. You could skip that whole part of the show and you wouldn't miss anything of value. I mean, it was a lot of nonsense pep talks. The action was crap if they ever did have it. It felt like pointless.
Yeah, and that's like a common theme this season. It all just really felt like fillery until like the last few episodes with Godspeed, which I feel like was the only time that really had impact on the season. But if you were to skip this season as a whole, you really wouldn't miss too much. It really just felt irrelevant. The only really main things is that Cisco's gone and there's going to be no variant of Wells, except for I guess Reverse Flash, who shouldn't even be having Wells' face, but the writer's too lazy to actually get the original actor, so he's going to be a cheap moron as always.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're that's a if you want to see more on the first arc, we have a whole video on that. But moving on to the second arc because there's a lot more to talk about. So the Godspeed thing came out of nowhere. Like it was kind of random. Like they just said, "Well, we're running out of cool villains, so let's just get this one from a few seasons ago." They bust him out, start some random war that's not explained until like a while later. So for a good moment, you have no idea what's happening, and then like they wrap it all up in a matter of 3 episodes. They speed ran that crap.
Exactly. Yeah, that's my main problem with this whole Godspeed storyline. You had the whole second half of the season to focus on it, but it's 4 episodes. And let me just get straight also. People have been begging for this guy to be in the show since like season 4. Um, he's been like a fan favorite, I guess. People have been wanting him so bad, and for whatever reason, a fan favorite character from the comics is only 4 episodes long, and August Hart is only really in it for 2 episodes. I mean, really one as Godspeed. It was so rushed, and the Godspeed War storyline was pretty stupid itself. It should have just focused on August Hart itself, and the whole thing about family, which I guess whatever, but I don't really see the point of Bart being his son instead of his grandson like the comics, and he's pretty much just another version of Chester. I really didn't care for him, in my opinion. And yeah, August Hart was completely wasted in this show. He had like scenes where we really seen him as Godspeed, which was just so stupid. I don't know why they could have. Honestly, if this was a full season of Godspeed, I wouldn't complain either. There was so much potential with this character.
Yeah, and I feel like with what little time we did have with him, like I, from what I could tell, if they did flush it out into a full season, they still wouldn't know what to do. Like they have tons of creative freedom here with like Godspeed, and they wasted it entirely. It from watching it, it made me feel like they just didn't have any idea what to do, So he comes in with amnesia. They figure out his motive. They fight, and then he dies. That's it. That's all they could think of, which is probably the most generic like action show thing possible. I couldn't come up with something more generic if I tried.
Yeah, he didn't really die. He just got stabbed in the stomach, which would normally kill anyone else. But he's in Iron Heights now. They're probably not gonna bring him back for a while. I mean, they still got another villain in prison right now, Bloodwork from season 6, and they've done nothing with his character. I don't really care to see Godspeed again. His character is terrible, and the whole clones fighting each other was stupid. The voice actors for the bro, he sounded like a Power Rangers villain. Like it's the cringiest thing ever. I don't know why they didn't get his original one. And for the final fight sequence, they had a lightsaber fight. A lightsaber fight. Like, who comes up with this stuff?
It wasn't even a speedster lightsaber fight. Like at most, they just turned the footage up to 2 times speed and just like let them slap each other with sticks. I mean, if this were Star Wars, the fight would have been okay, but it felt not at all like Flash. You've been doing this for 7 seasons, and you can't figure out how to make a good fight with 3 of like the fan favorite speedsters. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. Like speedster fights is pretty much like what everyone likes. It's great to see. And dude, a speedster fight with Reverse Flash and Flash trying to catch up with Godspeed would have been insane to watch. But instead, this is what they pull. Like I don't know how cheap or how low their CGI budget was, because you can tell it sometimes the CGI was just terrible. But yeah, I mean, all that started with that is most powerful. The fact he could fight both of them at the same time was great. And he just gets defeated right after. It was wasted potential. If you have a speedster that quickly, you should have explored him more. And yeah, also Reverse Flash. How is this guy still alive? This show has not even bothered to explain it anymore. They just at this point bring him back whenever they want. And his return in the finale was really pointless. All he literally did was help Flash fight Godspeed, try to fight Barry right after, and fail completely. Like God's or Reverse Flash really doesn't feel like menacing anymore. Season 6 in this season, he just feels like some side villain that poses no threat to them. They really just worry about him for like 1 second. They're like, oh, he's gone now. Who cares about him anymore? Like his character is really just taking a dump right now. I really don't know what they're gonna do with him anymore.
I think honestly, best case scenario is they just kill him for good. Just like we've already done the whole death thing, just do it again and keep it that way. They're like he's so pointless now. Like he used to be one of the main characters, one of the best characters, and they somehow turned him into a throwaway character. He's literally like those grunts you see in like war movies that just get shot and then like aren't in the movie for the rest of the thing. It's so pointless.
Yeah, I don't know if they should kill him completely because, well, in the first episode, when his mom dies, they go back in time and they have that fight. I think the perfect conclusion would be for it to kind of end towards there, where this Barry we see right now goes back in time to fight Reverse Flash to the night his mom died, and it kind of comes a full circle. But other than that, all these returns with him really don't matter. I feel like Reverse Flash should only be in the final season of the main villain. He wasn't needed in season 6. He wasn't needed this season. I don't even know why Flash would use him as an ally. And I don't know why Flash just let him run away. I mean, I guess because he realizes that no matter what, Reverse Flash is going to keep coming back because of claw armor. But yeah, this season is so bad. It's such wasted potential. I'm really angry because like I wanted the season to be good so bad, but it's terrible, and I don't see it running longer than I thought season 8 would be the last season, but the showrunner's saying he thinks it's gonna go longer. So I'm thinking season 9 max. The viewership's under 1 million right now, which is terrible. And yeah, just what a joke.
I actually can't imagine what is going through the showrunner's brain when he says it's going to be more like a few more seasons because they're running out of ideas as is. And if they're not running out of ideas, the ones they are coming up with are absolutely abysmal because none of them are saving this show. Like probably the best possible thing they could do is have an actual wrap up before CW scraps their show entirely. They just need to get the wrap up done now because they might never be able to get it done again.
Yeah, and just another thing to kind of mention about Godspeed. He was pretty much just a ripoff of Zoom in this show. All he wanted was the same thing, organic speed from Barry. And just you couldn't be more creative with your villain. And he also had use of Velocity 9 for his speed. And where were like these time rates, because they're like messing up the Speed Force timeline, so no one can travel or anything. And I guess the timeline's still fine by them doing that. It's so weird because they're literally from the future traveling back. And these Godspeed clones were never explained either. Like, who were they? How are they being controlled? How did they even get these all to speed? It was just all so rushed.
Yeah, and that's a good point about you saying he's just Zoom. Like they made such a big deal about like finding out his motive going into his brain, and then it turns out it's just the most boring thing you could think of. He wants to get faster. Like, are you kidding me? They couldn't think of anything else. This like long-awaited character. They had so much time to think about what he could possibly want or what he could do. I could probably think of some stuff he like some motives, but instead they just wasted it because they wanted to get to the lightsaber fight faster.
Honestly. And this was pretty much what everyone was excited for, saying, "Oh, wait till Godspeed storyline. I think this will be a good part of the season." And yeah, it didn't save the season at all. Just as we predicted from both our videos, the season was gonna be terrible, the worst one. And Godspeed didn't do anything to help this season. In fact, probably just dragged it down more. Like Godspeed is really just a generic villain, what it narrows down to. And this whole season is just terrible. I think at this point you need to get a new showrunner. He's clearly proven that he just can't do this show. It's said it's worse. There's so much fillery stuff. Honestly, the last 4 episodes, the only reason they were tolerable is because just Godspeed. Even though he was awful, all these other side plots and storylines nobody cared about. It was so stupid. Awful season. Yeah, I think I've pretty much ranted away about how this show is clearly going down in a ditch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in terms of ideas on how they could save this show, only one I can think of is just get someone better. Like it would take a miracle to save this show, and that's a miracle that will never ever happen. But I do think what they have is salvageable by someone who's actually competent. Like if you got like some John Favreau type dude in there, he could probably work with. They have like a million characters in the show now. He could probably do something with at least half of them, and that would be good enough. But instead, they're wasting all the ones they have and adding new ones. So yeah, I can't see anything good happening for this show.
Yeah, and another thing is, can they narrow down Team Flash? There's like 10 different members. For whatever reason, Eric Wallace wants to have like different episodes focusing on other members, which by the way, no one cares about. Like, who cares about these people? And Barry feels like a side character in his own show. Just, dude, Eric Wallace said he was going to be at his best this season. He wasn't. Now he's promising he's going to be at his best next season. Like, just shut up, dude. You can't write for anything.
Yeah, I mean, he's been promising stuff for a while. I think promises like that are just kind of signs of someone who's digging a deeper hole, saying like, "I'll fix it next season. I'll fix it next season. Don't worry, guys. This will be the best one yet." Like at this point, he's telling everyone else that the show is screwed. So, like, if you're kind of a Flash fan, like maybe you watch it every once in a while, if I had to give a like recommendation, just stop watching it. There's no point anymore. You're not losing anything by not watching it, and you're certainly not gaining anything by watching it.
Yeah, I think we've pretty much said everything. Please comment down below what you thought. If you thought the Godspeed arc was good, the Forces or the Mirror arc. If you have hope for the next season, or if you think like us, this season is or this show is just truly doomed, and it's going to just continue to decline.